Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Quite some time ago, one of my subscribers, she also used my discount link to buy her Glowforge, asked me if I would show how to engrave a silicone watch band. So I bought some watch bands off of Amazon, and then I really didn't do anything with them for quite a while. Well, I finally played around with them and I figured out how to engrave. So on this video, I'm going to engrave a pewter colored watch band in my Glowforge. Now, if you're interested in buying a Glowforge, I will have in the description of the video a discount link if you use that, at least at the time of making this video. Glowforge is giving $125 off a basic model, $250 off a plus, or $500 off a pro, and then I receive a referral fee as well. If you happen to use that link, please let me know because Glowforge doesn't tell me who uses it, and I'd like to give you a proper thank you. Now, before I jump onto the computer to show you my design, let me show you what I did. Here's the watch band that I already engraved. And when it's folded around my arm, it says Be Resilient. I used a non-script font for the B and then a script font for the word resilient. Now, the darkness of the engraving is what this watch band did in the Glowforge. Sometimes it's just engraved and it's not really a different color. You can leave it like that, or some people will actually add paint down into the letters to make it stand out. So in this set of watch bands, I have kind of a gold, a silver, a rose gold. These three have a little bit of a metallic sheen, a lavender, and then kind of a turquoise color. And then of course my original watch band. I said I was going to do the pewter, but really I'm going to do this kind of gold colored one. Now that I'm on the dashboard of my Glowforge, you can see my prior projects. Here's from the watch band I did before, but I want to show you how to bring in your image and start from scratch. So I'm going to click on Create, Upload from File, then I'll find my file, click on it, and say Upload. Now this is a very simple image that I made in Inkscape, a free design software. You can use Inkscape, Adobe Illustrator, anything that you like to use for making your designs. Also, I bring mine in as 2 layers so that I can work with them independently. Okay, so the first layer I want to work with is the word resilient. So let me go ahead and move that over here. And then I have the watch band I made before in here so I can make sure I turn everything the correct way. Okay, so I want to turn it this way. And then I really felt like it engraved a little bit large. I was afraid my band might cover over it, so this time I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Now before I go too far, I want to go ahead and set the focus for right here. So you click on these 3 dots, say Set Focus, and it looks like it probably was focusing there already, but this just assures that. So you can see up here it says it's focusing. Then I also feel like it needs to be turned slightly with the top going a little bit to the right. Okay, so let's go enter some settings. First of all, let's go up to the material I'm using, and I'm going to say I'm using uncertified material. And then I want the Glowforge to automatically determine the thickness. So I'll click Submit. Then in my settings, I'm going to click right here where it says Enter Settings. I'll let the Glowforge know I want to engrave this. Then to actually do the settings, I have to go down here to Manual. I'm going to do a speed of 600 and a power of 75. And then I'm going to go ahead and increase the lines per inch to 340. Okay, so let's work on the other layer. I'll go ahead and zoom back out. Now zoom back in. And you can barely see, it's kind of dark, but what I'm going to do is rotate the word B in this direction. Once again, I think it was a little bit large, So I'll make it smaller. And then in my case, I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. If you wanted to make a jig and be really perfect, you could do that. But in my case, I think my eyeballing it's going to be good enough. Okay, let me see how far I am off this end. I think I'll move it down just a little bit closer to the edge. Move this a little closer to the edge. Now I'll go over here and once again I'm going to enter my settings. I'll let Glowforge know I want to engrave it. Click on manual. A speed of 600 again and a power of 75. Lastly, I'm going to change my line sprint to 340. And then just like last time, I left this focus height on auto. So from the Glowforge camera, you can see exactly what's going to engrave. And it's not a problem to leave that in there. I'm just going to leave that in there while I engrave it. Also, this watch band is for a Fitbit Versa 2, but they have these for all different watches. So we'll click on print. Then right now what it's doing is it's determining how long it's going to take to do this engrave. And you can see 4 minutes and 49 seconds. Not too bad. So let's move on out to the Glowforge and we'll watch this print. Here's the two watch bands. Let me move them closer to the camera. Now here's the one that I already did. And what's interesting is in the camera, it looks like you can barely see the words on this one. But to the naked eye, I can see these words pretty easily. Then what's interesting is on camera, it looks like you can see these words really easily. And you can see them, but less so than these words. So the camera does weird things. Now the other thing is, on this watch band, there's some gooey residue, like maybe where the silicone melted or something. So the first thing I'm going to do is just spray some alcohol on a paper towel and get that cleaned up. So that looks pretty nice. And I said you can see this less than this one. You can see it less than this one, but you can see it plenty well. If you wanted it darker, what you can do is you can put some paint down in there. Now, a man that I was watching said he always uses an oil-based paint because the oil-based paints are less likely to crack. I don't have oil-based at home, and I want to see what it's going to look like, and I want you to see what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to use a thin layer of this Craft Smart paint. Now, one thing I will say, when I was cleaning up this watch band, I was really rubbing it with paper towel, and the paper towel remnants were getting inside there. So when I clean the paint out of this, I'm going to actually use fabric so I don't have all that lint from the paper towel. So I have this kind of cotton muslin, probably not the best material to use for this, but it's what I have, so that's what I'll use. Then I don't want to use a lot of paint. I don't want it so thick that it is going to dry and crack. I just want enough to cover the bottom of the letters. So paint it on, rub it around. Now I am having to push fairly hard to get it to settle down in those letters. They are really deep. The settings that I used, which I got from another YouTuber, did a great job. Okay, I'm just going to do one side right now so we can compare. And that really looks to be a big mess. So the first thing I'll do is just use my fabric. And we can see that's not going to do the job. So I'm going to spray my alcohol on my fabric. I don't want to spray it on there and get alcohol down into the letters. Now I'm just going to lightly rub. That way I can remove what's on the surface. And I'm sure it's going to take a few times to do this because I'm just rubbing old paint right back onto the surface. So I'll find a clean area. Well, that's pretty cute. I still need to do a little bit of cleanup. And I'm not pushing too hard because I don't want to go down in there and wipe out the paint that's inside the letters. But again, they are really very deep with the settings I used. And I don't want to forget the side. Doesn't look like I have any on that side. So I think I'll just do one more swipe and call it good. Okay, I really like how that turned out, so I'll go ahead and do the word B as well. Now I'm going to let this dry for about 5 minutes. Let the paint that's down in there settle in a little bit. Then I'll do one more wiping of the top with a clean cloth and a little alcohol, and then I'll show you a picture at the end. Thanks so much for joining me today, sticking it out to the end. Until my next video, bye-bye.